Ryan Rishaug alongside Darren Dreger here on draft day from Vegas. Dregs, but before we head over to the Sphere tonight, we've got some business to take care of. Lots of chatter over the last couple of days about Steven Stamkos. Will he go to market? Will he re-sign with Tampa Bay? It's a game of chicken. Which way is it going to go? Well, this just in from the Twitter feed of Pierre Lebrun from agent Don Meehan. Quote, he will be a free agent on July 1st. That sounds pretty definitive, Dreger. What's going on here?
Yeah, I mean, there's been an ongoing negotiation, obviously. You're talking about an iconic figure here in the NHL, but most definitely in Tampa Bay and in that organization as captain. So, you know, they've had multiple scenarios on the table, different options for Stamkos to consider, but the money isn't there, and the term maybe isn't right, or the combination of those two things isn't a fit. The door hasn't slammed shut here, but this is a veteran agent and Donnie Meehan just expressing to the public that unless something changes dramatically, and that change has to come from Julian Breezeball and the Tampa Bay Lightning, then this future Hall of Famer is going to the open market, which is a surprise to me.
Leafs?
Oh, no. Well, they've got other needs, and their needs, as we know, are on defense. Which
you know people are going to be talking about.
Well,
it,
and it's going to be wrapped into the future of Mitch Marner, and if you can trade Marner, maybe you can play. I mean, go down the list, though, of the teams across the National Hockey League, and you're talking about cup contending teams, maybe like the city we're standing in right here, Vegas, who would have interest in, again, the resume of Steven Stamkos.
Okay, two of the Maple Leafs open for business on the blue line, and it sounds like Brad Treliving chasing some significant names.
Yeah, right shot guys, as we've reported all along here. In a perfect world, he'd add two of those. Still targeting Chris Tanev, and a lot of teams are in on the experience of Chris Tanev, including the Dallas Stars, where he finished the season with. But if Toronto had a choice, it would be Tanev, and I think it would be Zadorov as well. You know, the Vancouver Canucks doesn't seem like they've got enough left. They've got some needs up front. You know, we're all watching the Jake Gensel scenario. Is he going to extend in Carolina? If not, could he be a fit for the Vancouver Canucks? So Toronto has scoured that right shot market. And again, in a best case scenario, given some of the other options that appear to be headed in a different direction, it seems more likely it would be Tanev and Zadorov.
The Zadorov conversation is interesting because in hearing what potential negotiations are looking like, the player's idea of where he might come in versus what the market might actually dictate, like, you know, where do you see him fitting on the Maple Leaf blue line? And that dollar figure could be significant.
Yeah, it could be significant, but there's been speculation he wants as much as $6 million a year. I don't think that's accurate. Could he command as much as $5 million? We're talking specifically here about the Toronto Maple Leafs, but they're not the only horse in this race. There'll be other teams that would have interest. As for the fit, again, it depends on if you get Chris Tanev as well, or if Tanev stays in Dallas or goes to another organization, does Brad Treliving then pivot and just add the best available left shot guy? So it's hard to determine where Zadorov would fit, but know this. Like most general managers, Brad Treliving loves the big trees in the back. So Zadorov has a bit of bite, and he certainly has the reach and the size and covers a lot of real estate.
Very physical in that series against the Edmonton Oilers. The Montreal Canadiens open for business, already did a deal, hopping up a number of spots in the first round, but certainly not just looking in terms of draft picks and such. They're potentially moving some bodies.
Well, he's wheeling and dealing. Kent Hughes of the Montreal Canadiens, I know that he was involved in trade conversation with Mike Greer and the San Jose Sharks, and he was looking at the 14th pick overall, and we know that Buffalo and San Jose yesterday made that deal, so San Jose was off the table. Montreal makes this trade with the Los Angeles Kings, and the jewel of it from their perspective is the 21st pick overall in addition to the number 5 that they have. But I think that Hughes is far from finished with the wheeling and dealing. And you're right. I mean, Montreal needs players to get better because the fan base there is demanding a turnaround. This team needs to be a team that at least nibbles at a playoff spot. Well, you don't do that with draft picks. But specific to what might happen here today, I know Hughes wants to try and add another top 10 pick. So maybe he uses that 21 pick from the Los Angeles Kings and something to find a way into the top 10. And he's also listing on the idea of moving slightly up from 5 or slightly down. So he's got a lot going on.
Where are things at on Lindholm?
Well, again, just gauging interest around the market, right? I mean, most of us are speculating that the Boston Bruins are the most likely fit. And here's what's interesting. Again, the Vegas Golden Knights hosting the draft, putting on a great event here, but they're going to have holes in their lineup. And the reason I bring that up in relation to Lindholm is because you've got another center who's going to pop in the market in Chandler Stevenson, right? I know that the Vancouver Canucks are interested in Chandler Stevenson. Well, that would be to replace Lindholm, right? The Boston Bruins have checked in on Chandler Stevenson. Well, that would be, again, the backup if they're not able to acquire Lindholm. And then Nashville fits into that equation on those two centers as well.
So this whole operation moves over to the Sphere here in Vegas this afternoon for the draft, Dregs. We haven't been there yet. Everything we hear from people that have been is that it is sensational.
I saw a sneak peek. I'll share it with you. I can't make it. I can't put it out there publicly, or I'll get somebody fired, but it's terrific.
It's really going to be something. So keep an eye on our social channels, tsn.ca, YouTube as well. We'll be filing hits through the day, and then we'll show you what it all looks and sounds like tonight postgame on SportsCenter.